Now, the determination of the All Progressive Congress to go ahead with tomorrow's nationwide World Congresses could either signal the beginning of the end or a springboard towards retaining political power in 2023. Irrespective of the danger signals, we will now spend some time to take a look at the matter with two chieftains, but we'll start it off. Of course, we'll be having Senator Itang Enang, Senior Special Advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on Niger Delta Affairs later on. But let's kick it off with Senator Victor Ndoma Egba, a former Senate Majority Leader. And Senator, I would like to say thank you for joining us here on Newsday. And my first question to you will be that there are massive warnings from the likes of Festus Keyamo and a whole lot of chieftains of the APC. What are the warning signs if these warnings probably fall on deaf ears and the Congress still holds tomorrow? Festus Keyamo and several other APC chieftains have spoken against the Congress tomorrow holding, and they say the warning signs are there that they should desist if all this plea falls on deaf ears. What's your own position about the Congress tomorrow? Let's start it from there. And what do you make about the fears being allayed by Keyamo and others?
Thank you for having me. First, let me start by saying that the Supreme Court judgment in Jegede and Akeredolu is a very momentous judgment. It's a very significant judgment for the administration of political parties. It clearly defines the boundaries laid in Section 183 of the Constitution and Article 17 of the APC Constitution. So clearly, it is a warning shot of against where we should not tread. Now, if clearly the judgment will become an easy weapon in the hands of a lot of people, should we go on with the congresses tomorrow? This is the time for caution, and I think that if we must err at all, we should err on the side of caution. We have enough legal eggheads to analyze the import and impact of the judgment. That should be done first, and it should be done very cautiously and very calmly. It is not a time for adventurism, because we have seen what happened to the party in Zamfara and elsewhere. This is the time for caution. We should err on the side of caution and make haste very, very slowly.
Okay, Senator Victor Ndoma Egba, may I put to you another area where perhaps the APC may be well advised to err on the side of caution, and that's an area you seem to have endorsed. It's to do with the cross-carpeting. You recently described this cross-carpeting of Ben Ayade as a boost that would better position the APC for 2023, whereas some see this push to literally swallow up the opposition as an expression of the APC's thirst for power at all costs. What do you say to that, Senator?
Well, you know, if you remember when the PDP was in power, the height of its power, there was a lot of traffic out of other parties into the PDP. So what we are seeing now is not new. We are not seeing it for the first time. I think that the real concern is not about the political parties. The real concern is about the attitude and the mentality of the Nigerian political elites.
Please expatiate.
What I have told you that before now, when PDP was the height of its power, it was attractive to move from elsewhere into PDP. But now the APC is in power, we are seeing the same phenomenon. So to me, it really doesn't matter which political party is in power. At the height of its power, it will become attractive and it will just generate traffic towards itself. So it has very little to do with PDP or APC, because we have seen that whether it is PDP or whether it's APC, the moment a political party is at the height of its power, it will become very attractive to people. People have said it is governors and National Assembly members that are moving into the APC in Cross River State. No. What we are seeing is a mass exodus. It's a mass movement of people from the wards at virtually every level. So it has nothing to do, it's not peculiar to the governor or National Assembly members, it's just a mass movement.
All right, Senator Ndoma Egba, the caretaker committee chairman, talking about Governor Mai Buni, some say should have resigned after Wednesday's Supreme Court ruling to avoid the party walking into a landmine. I want to get your position on this particular issue. Should he resign?
The judgment, as we speak, I haven't seen the full text of the judgment. I have just seen snippets of it in the mass media, and my analysis is based on what I have seen. But there is need for us to analyze the complete text of the judgment, the complete text, and then be very clear about what the import and the impact of the judgment will be, and then advise from there. It is a bit too early for me to say he should stay or should not stay.
Okay, and yet we know at this point that the 7 judges sitting there did agree on the constitutional matter that it was not right, or it was unconstitutional for the sitting governor to hold a dual elective positions of being both a governor and a party national chairman. So I just want to drop that there. But I also want to ask, if that was indeed a clear position for the judges to have held, why was it even allowed to exist in the first place?
Well, until you litigate on a particular subject, you can't say what the position of the courts will be. You know, I believe that the APC took a chance, given the crisis it was experiencing at that time, to take this as an option. The option of having Governor Mai Balamuni as a caretaker chairman. And now it has become the subject of litigation. We know how the mind of the Supreme Court is working. At least they have said so very, very clearly in the judgment. They have clearly interpreted the provisions of Section 183 of the Constitution and Article 17 of the APC Constitution. They have clearly defined the boundaries. Now, those boundaries are very, very clear. Now, if after analyzing the judgment and we come to the same conclusion that I have, I believe that Governor Buni will be guided by the best interest of the party.
All right, Senator Egba, I would like to find out from you. A lot of people have postulated that the internal wranglings we've seen rock the APC for years right now is the very reason why we find Nigeria finds itself in this particular predicament whereby things are not really as smooth as promised initially in 2015. And some are saying that if this continues going into 2023, this will heavily hurt APC's chances at the polls.
Well, what we see as a wrangling within the party is actually a sign of life, that the party is alive. You can't have a living political party have the quiet of the graveyard. I mean, the political party is a venue, is a forum for the contestation of different tendencies. I mean, that contest of between tendencies and interests is an indication that the party is alive. But the good news is that I think that the APC has the resilience, you know, to resolve all those tendencies before a major contest like we'll have in 2023.
What do you make of the wranglings in Kwara State between the factions of Lai Mohammed and the sitting governor, Abdul Razak? It threatens, the noises we're hearing, that it threatens to tear the party apart in that sector. What's your take on that?
I believe that those wranglings will be resolved.
You're very optimistic. Okay.
I am very optimistic that they will be resolved.
Okay, let me even ask, because some have said that there's a meeting holding in Abuja today, and on the basis of that, it would be determined if the congresses will go ahead tomorrow. What do you expect will be discussed, or what resolutions do you think might be reached at this meeting, if you were to just preempt the resolutions there?
Well, I'm just guessing because I can't. I believe that they will postpone the congresses for a short while.
I want to say many thanks to you, Senator Victor Ndoma Egba, a former Senate majority leader here in Nigeria.